This news update is brought to you by...
Say hello to Carol. Carol talks for a living, from morning till night. So she relies on Flow's crystal clear home phone service brought to her through Flow's 100% fiber to the home network. It keeps her in the know, and because she bundles her mobile broadband and TV services, she enjoys huge savings, so she can enjoy much more for much less. So visit any Flow retail outlet, call 1-800-804-2994, or visit discoverflow.co to find out more. One-of-a-kind connection. This is how we flow.
This is the Barbados Today morning news update for Friday, June 24th. Thank you for joining us. I am Mary Claire Williams. The dispute between the Jada Group of Companies and the Barbados Workers Union is being referred to the Office of the General Secretary and the Executive Council for resolution. The matter arose earlier this month when over a dozen workers were reportedly sent home by the Infra Equipment Rentals Limited, a member of the Jada Group. The union charges that the workers, who are truck drivers, were laid off after they refused to participate in an incentive scheme in which they first had to agree to a half pay cut. And Deputy General Secretary Dwayne Paul says the workers were offered no guarantees that they could recoup the lost pay. Union representatives held a near 2-hour meeting with the workers last evening, and following the talks, Paul said the union is hoping to have the matter resolved as soon as possible.
The union is going to do all in its power to defend the workers within the group. The matter will be referred to the Office of the General Secretary and to the Executive Council of the Barbados Workers Union. And from there, whatever the decisions are that are made will be executed by the union using the full backing of the union. We believe that the workers are being exploited. We believe the workers are being unfaired, and enough is really enough. Jada cannot continue to make huge profits, control the construction market in Barbados, and then turn around and take bread out of the workers' mouths. We cannot have a situation like that in Barbados. This is tragic.
Government is defending its decision to purchase liquefied natural gas from the U.S. instead of Trinidad. Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister, responsible for energy, Senator Darcy Boyce, told Barbados Today that Trinidad was not able to supply Bridgetown. Boyce says it was a matter of topping up the reserves and should not be seen as Barbados bypassing its CARICOM neighbor. And in an interview with Barbados Today, economist Jeremy Stephen also supported the move.
Trinidad sells the majority of its LNG to the United States, and they got the facilities to do so. And the States has the facility to actually send smaller ships to Barbados. Trinidad doesn't have those ships, so they understand. Because it's 7 million that Barbados imported over a 3-month period versus billions that Trinidad exported to the U.S. for the first quarter of the year. Billions. The argument makes no sense. The price is justifiable. Maybe it could be a little bit lower, but at the end of the day, we're arguing apples and oranges. The argument that's being pushed up there is rather disappointing, man. The economics behind it does not allow us to pay a lower price. We can't compare Trinidad exporting at above rate to the little bit that Barbados imports on a monthly basis from the United States of America, man. They're going to charge us a retail rate. We're getting a smaller shipment, so we're going to pay more per cubic feet than somebody that buys wholesale.
The case brought against the controversial Rock Hard Cement Ltd of businessman Mark Maloney is expected to be heard in court today. The chief town planner, Mark Cummins, filed the criminal charges in the District A Magistrates Court. He accused Rock Hard Cement of failing to comply with a stop notice to cease and desist any further operations on the site of the flour mill off Spring Garden Highway and to demolish a concrete structure built to store the cement material. The company's landlord, Barbados Port Inc., had also been issued with 2 stop notices and enforcement notices. The matter was adjourned last week after Maloney did not show up in court. Magistrate Douglas Frederick said the marshal failed to carry out his duties to serve Rock Hard Cement through its chairman Maloney with the summons requiring him to attend court. In sports this morning, the distinguished former West Indies captain Clive Lloyd has been axed as chairman of selectors after 2 years in charge, and he will now assume a new role of special ambassador. Lloyd has been replaced by former West Indies wicket-keeper and Barbados captain Courtney Brown. He oversaw a turbulent period in West Indies cricket, which included the abandoned one-day tour of India and the controversial non-selection of Kieron Pollard and Dwayne Bravo.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
I love it. I love it. I give in your sweetness. Hey, it's your girl Azizi, the Barbados City Crop Over Superstar 2015. The competition is even more exciting this year. There'll be 3 champions. The public will choose their junior, Soca Royale, and Pickety Crop champions. So here's how it works. Go to our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/Barbados Today to fill out your competition form. 2. Upload your video with your song to Barbados Today's Facebook page. 3. Make sure you invite all your friends and family to vote for you. The contestant with the most votes by the end of their competition will be crowned champion. I gave me your sweetness. I know you like sweetness. All of this is sweetness.
Secure your future, be financially strong. Since 1983, we have been there for you. A smart range of products, great tax benefits. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. Humble beginnings to smart loans, smart savings. Save smart and borrow smarter. That's the move for me. Stability, prosperity. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union.
We're back now with news from the region. The former president of the United Nations General Assembly, Antiguan diplomat John Ash, is said to have died in a weightlifting accident. A report from the New York medical examiner, Dr. Kunjalata Ashar, said yesterday that the 61-year-old Ash died when a barbell he was lifting from a bench fell on his neck. The medical examiner listed the cause of death as traumatic asphyxia during an autopsy. In October last year, Ash pleaded guilty to criminal charges of filing fraudulent income tax returns and evading tax on more than $1.3 million that he is accused of receiving in bribes. Talks are underway in Guyana between the government and the country's public service union for salary increases for public servants. We get more from Capital News in Georgetown.
Talks commenced today between government and Guyana Public Service Union for wages and salary increases for public servants. Meeting in the boardroom of the Department of the Public Service, the sides are hoping that they can broker an agreement which would benefit public servants. Head of the government's delegation and permanent secretary of the Department of Public Service, Reginald Brotherson, said he's hoping that negotiations could be concluded within a month's time.
Sometimes when we feel that it is a wonderful opportunity, giving credence to the president's concept and vision of what Guyana should be, to have collective bargaining restored. So the government side will always be open-minded in these discussions.
Frederick McWilfred, head of the Political Affairs Division in the Ministry of the Presidency, said the 40% increase by the union has not gone unnoticed and government will take a serious look at it. According to McWilfred, government has to deal with the realities of its ability to honor commitments made to increase salaries.
I want to emphasize this is a technical team. We're not in any way concerned with policy, and so we expect that the union, we will go through the technical aspects of this matter, mostly.
Questioned on the union's call for increased allowances, McWilfred said he preferred to await the outcome of the negotiations, while Brotherson said government is entering the negotiations with an open mind.
Further afield, Colombians are celebrating the historic ceasefire deal signed yesterday between the government and FARC rebels. The two sides reached the agreement after 3 years of peace talks in Cuba, and it is expected to end more than 50 years of conflict. We get more from the BBC, who has been visiting a FARC jungle camp in western Colombia.
These heavily armed guerrillas lead us to their camp deep in the jungle before they talk. Because despite an impending peace deal, they're still considered an enemy of the state until they lay down their weapons. 5 decades of civil war pitted the FARC and several other militant groups against the government and each other. Partly inspired by the Cuban Revolution, the FARC say they represent the rights of the rural poor. Colombia bled. More than 220,000 people were killed and millions more displaced.
Over 2 tons of pure cocaine.
The FARC became embroiled in the drugs trade, financing its relentless war through cocaine. Meanwhile, billions of American dollars were poured in through Plan Colombia to bolster the military. The war took its toll on the country's youngest and most vulnerable. Children were killed and forced to kill. Finally, talks were established on neutral territory, Havana, and lessons from the Northern Ireland peace process used. The FARC in the 21st century is a strange beast. Most of its original leaders have been killed, and after the Cold War, many ordinary Colombians rejected their radical ideology.
For decades, these guerrillas have been primed and ready for war. But the truth is now they're preparing for peace. And many have their doubts about exactly where they fit into a post-conflict Colombia.
That's the news this morning. Remember, you can get more on our website, www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We're on Izumi Media in bus terminals and Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. Or you can also tune into Channel 99 on Flow TV or Mix 96.9 FM for more news and sports. I am Maricla Williams. Good morning.